poverty-stricken elementary schools where there is systematic oppression. It is creating after-school programs to go to, so, you know, after school they know that someone cares enough to make sure that they're not out in the streets, that they are, you know, furthering their education, building a bond within the community. They know that someone is there for them, and that is when change starts to take place, whenever people from the community get involved. And lately there have been a lot of questions, you know, why do Black lives only matter when someone is killed? And to the
George Floyd's brother calls for the end of the violence.
It is your due diligence as a citizen to go.
I can never understand this. I can't when
what is happening in the Black community.
Family members
tell you, you know, we need help.
Call for peace, love, and unity when they've just supposedly lost a loved one who'd been murdered. I can never understand that. I'd want to obliterate everything if it was a member of my family being murdered. They always turn to good citizens somehow, the family members, don't they? That really does baffle me, that.
You know, we don't feel like we have the same opportunity as those kids. We need help. And that is when you have to come into
Trump threatens to deploy army to quell violent protests.
What do you think of the way President Trump has handled this?
I think he handled it in the way that he
martial law, in other words.
What is ironic about it is he's condemning us for doing the same thing that he is projecting onto us right now. He is threatening to use force and to use violence to have us stop.
He is, yes, because they will get violence if they
what should he do when people
launch military?
Law? How should he respond, do you believe?
Well, I think
was George Floyd
that he said during that speech
murdered?
That anyone who breaks the law will be prosecuted to.
Because I've seen a couple of videos where they're thinking
these police officers that killed an innocent black.
I'd hate to use the word conspiracy theory because we're all branded nut jobs under the word.
So it would have been awesome.
But some videos are floating around suspecting that
you didn't feel he did, despite the fact that
this George Floyd wasn't actually murdered.
Seen kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck has
and it's been used as an excuse
which is
to cause an uprising to then bring in the military.
It doesn't match up.
Which does not surprise me in the slightest, because these things have happened.
I don't know what else you would expect by kneeling on someone.
They know how to manipulate the public.
And the fact that Donald Trump said we will spark an investigation when you can clearly see on
governments around the world always use the brilliant tactic of problem, reaction, solution.
Who he is willing to protect and who he doesn't really care about.
How do you think he should stop people breaking the law?
I think he needs to have a conversation with us. I think if he really wants to spark change, he has to see that oppression runs very deep in our country and racism needs to be talked about. It's not something that you can just erase.
I don't even like this term Black Lives Matter. Doesn't every life matter?
Racism has started since
regardless of what colour you are. If you're fucking pink and you survive and you're breathing air,
there's a lot of things
doesn't your life fucking matter?
That you see talked about in other countries. And for example, I grew up homeless in America for 18 years. And as I was in these hotels watching these commercials about, you know, a penny a day or 10 cents a day will bring this child in Africa a meal, I've never seen that in America. America doesn't like to talk about poverty. America doesn't like to talk about racism. We have a huge reputation for just going forward, and it's time to pause and reflect.
I want to thank you all so much for getting up in the early hours and talking to our audience around the world. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Stay safe. DJ Morris and Tiana Bowman and Mira Williams, thank you very much. Australians have joined protests against the murder of Mr. Floyd. Before these demonstrations...
So it's all about the murder of Floyd now.
Morrison called the US protest shocking.
Going a bit quiet now, is it, on the coronavirus side?
Countries. Mr. Morrison demanded an investigation after 2 Australian reporters were charged at by police outside the White House. Network 7's reporter Amelia Brace was live on air when
isn't that mad?
Tim Myers was hit.
We always soon move on from one thing to another, don't we?
Here is what happened.
We've just had to run about
It was all about this Floyd guy. So was it a set-up to move us in another direction, another phase?
Now, the numbers of people dying each week whose deaths are linked to coronavirus.
Here we go, they're talking about it.
Lowest levels in England and Wales since late March. That's according to figures from the Office for National Statistics published this morning. It's their review of death certificates showing that 2,500 cases where the virus was in the week ending the 22nd of May.
You've got to tell us then, Victoria, that
to relax
a lot of the fraudulence been going on.
For arrivals to the UK are being considered by government ministers. The proposed move comes amid signs of rebellion amongst some MPs, including Conservative MPs, about the impact of the quarantine on the aviation.
Putting COVID on people's death certificates, no matter what you've died of, even if you fell downstairs and broke your fucking neck.
Malaga are beginning to open up, but will we be able to get to them? Spain's tourism minister says the UK's coronavirus figures will have to improve before British tourists can be welcomed back. As well as problems at our...
They've got us at their mercy because they can fraudulent these figures up and down anywhere they want to manipulate us.
That scheme has alarmed many in the tourism industry and on the backbenches of the...
Depends how many they want put on the list.
We'll get more detail today, but the plan, which starts next week...
Or how many they want fucking say have tested positive.
The possibility to ease the quarantine is to create so-called air bridges or travel corridors...
I see the coronavirus
levels of infection. That might not come
as the next terrorist threat.
It could come towards the end of July, just at the start of the...
Like I might have said on one of my other videos.
The UK's test...
You can never defeat the invisible enemy. They know how to control populations, don't they? Invent an invisible enemy that you can't see, and you can never defeat it.
Having little to do. But Mr. Hancock told the Downing Street press conference the vast majority of union...
It can be manipulated at will.
...had been traced.
That's what they've done.
As you know, 25,000 people to work as contact tracers, and the level of incidence of disease has come down. And so actually we have more capacity than we need. This is a good thing.
He's absolute scumbag. He should be in jail.
Reported yesterday in all settings, and an additional 445 deaths previously not reported, where coronavirus tests were carried out in private labs. But the death rate is generally trending downwards.
I wonder if he's got a fucking track and trace going on.
Business. A clear sign of that could be seen outside the 19 IKEA stores that opened up for trade yesterday. At some places, up to a...
Look at that though, look at the state of that. Fuck me, oh my fucking lord, that is horrendous. Would you believe in your lifetime you'd see a sight like that? Queuing up and down a car parking rows like that, would you fucking believe it?
The government's idea for this 14-day self-isolation when you travel into the UK.
I won't be doing none of that. They can get fucked. I refuse to play the part of the sheep. No way. No way on this earth.
The idea of imposing a 14-day quarantine period for anyone arriving in the UK would just be disastrous for the...
Jesus, that sight alone's enough to blow your mind, isn't it?
Britain was somehow closed for business. It'd be a body blow for...
People are willing to queue up like that.
Might be able to go away
road between them fucking fences.
How on earth you'd be able to enforce this 14-day quarantine period? So there is a growing revolt over it, and the government themselves are now actively looking at this idea of air corridors or air bridges to certain countries who would be exempt.
They'll relapse all this over months. It'll relapse and come right down, right? That means, or should supposed to mean,
other countries as well.
The virus is eased.
Rather than go for this sort of quarantine,
then understand people.
Use rather more targeted measures.
Why is the fucking
encouraging people to wear face masks?
Actions of what they're doing not relapsing? The self-distancing measures. Bass business. All the fucking stay alert business. Why won't that relapse? Because it's beyond the virus. You should start understanding. If you didn't want to understand that it was a scamdemic, you should start understanding now that it's nothing to do with the virus. It's about implementing these lockdown measures to get you used to the idea, the track and trace, keeping you all apart, getting used to the idea
those countries that it's safe for Brits to go
of when they want to get into releasing and setting up the end goal, which is the microchip.
Can the government actually negotiate,
and by the time that comes, you're already geared up and had it implanted in your mind to stay apart.
MPs returned to Westminster today, or most of them do, almost 2 months since the introduction of virtual voting and a limit of 50 MPs in the House.
It's hard living in this life when you know what's going on, I tell you. It's very frustrating and hard.
Measures has faced criticism from a growing number of MPs across the House.
And you look round you and all you see is sheer idiots, sheer fools, sheep. They ain't got a clue.
The House of Commons says democracy will once again flourish. I've been talking to Conservative MP Robert Halford, who's been shielded...
Democracy? What the hell's democracy now?
And who was advised by his
non-existent
to return to Parliament today. He wants those MPs who can't go back to be able to vote via video link or proxy.
What is democratic?
If you can't get yourself back into that Parliament, then you don't represent the British people, period.
They are shielding, self-isolating, or unwell. That they will be denied.
They're not unwell. What the fuck's this prick talking about?
And what that is doing is, in essence, making us all parliamentary eunuchs.
Let's have a word now with Pete Wishart, who's Scottish National Party MP.
Fuck me, you're being paid by the fucking public to sit at home on your fucking webcam to talk in public.
Robert's spot on. I mean, this
Don't fucking sack him.
Millions of people right across the United Kingdom whose Member of Parliament will be, for a number of reasons, unable to participate in a series of votes today, whether that's because of, as Robert so adequately describes, because of shielding health.
Don't think anyone else working for a company will be able to do that, will they? Sit fucking in the pleasure of your own home, fucking webcamming back to the fucking company, giving orders for everyone on the shop floor.
This is an absolute travesty.
What a fucking joke.
Observe members of Parliament queuing up for over a kilometre just to say yes or no to a question will be utterly bizarre today, and I'm sure the whole nation will be watching this spectacle with mirth, laughter and amazement.
Or bafflement. I mean, I'm genuinely puzzled, and I'm genuinely curious as to why you, for example, in your constituency, are not...
MPs will decide how to proceed by using temporary voting process.
Much nearer to Westminster.
It is utterly bizarre, and it is...
But why do you think? What's going on?
There's a couple of things that I think is at the heart of this, and you're right. I mean, electronic remote voting work perfectly. I mean, I've been able to sit in rural Perthshire with my iPhone to decide how I want to vote in House of Commons. Nothing could be more easier. Today, nothing could be more difficult in order for me to exercise my vote. Now, there's a couple of reasons I think is behind this, and one is the very obvious distress of Boris Johnson in the House of Commons as he appeals to his backbenchers who are no longer there to cheer him on and whatever ridiculous assertion.
Johnson needs fucking lynching publicly.
That's one of the reasons why you're
and the fucking rest of them.
Why you're effectively a parliamentary...
Because without doubt, people have been fucking murdered.
Because people have to be back to...
In this lockdown,
Boris Johnson, well, you've got to be socially
the lockdown's caused a lot of fucking deaths, including suicides.
Well, I don't think that's the key reason, and I'll get to this. I think that was the thing that started the debate about all this. Was
it's a crime, murder people.
In the Tory party, which
government going to get away with it, are they?
But I believe the major problem and issue is that
there's another global puppet.
Really believe in this idea of head count votes. It's something that Jacob Rees-Mogg refers to going back to the 15th century. This right to turn up and assert your democratic principles by appearing physically in Parliament. And there seems to be these new fogies in the Conservative Party who really sort of respond to this type of message. They get to speak to ministers and the division lobby. Now, I've been in Parliament almost 20 years. I counted that I've probably wasted a month of my life just exercising the decision whether it's yes or no. But they seem to really, really enjoy and appreciate it and ensure that it's going to be foisted on the rest of us. It can't work during the pandemic. It was nonsense during normal times. Now it's nonsense and dangerous.
Oh, lots of nonsense, mate.
If you would, for those who want to learn more, physically, what happens when you vote in the House of Commons? You walk into different lobbies, but just describe it for our viewers, both here in the UK and right around the world.
Public are being laughed at by the government. The whole fucking charade of this corona bullshit.
So hang on, I'm going to pause you there. So when you say a lobby, what is it? Is it like a foyer of a hotel? Is it a corridor? What?
It's a corridor, a very confined corridor, not much wider than probably your living room. And all of a sudden, particularly, just say there's the Liberal Democrats, for example, with the 10 members decide to call a vote, there could be 630.
I've noticed some new signs going up in the
There's already examples
couple of chip shops I passed last night
sorts of health issues.
and handed out. I'd be embarrassed if I was a shop owner to put that in my window.
To do this during a pandemic, it was just...
I'll go up at some point, either today or tomorrow, and video the sign and then show you what it is. But the last message at the bottom of it is, try and use your card, not cash. All the messages to put through to the masses.
It's a queue that they reckon will take about an hour and a bit to be able to conclude this voting. You could sneak...
Try and get rid of cash, cashless society.
Yeah. Just to go back to what happened...
Got a feeling it's going to happen and I didn't think it would, but...
Yes or no. How do you actually vote? What...
We can't do fucking now about any of this, can we really?
Very nice clerks with a big...
Apart from just keep talking and telling people what's going down. Delayed probably, but I think it's going to happen. 2 years maximum.
And then there's two people...
Cash will be gone.
Tellers, one from the government whips and one from the whips who called the vote. And they then will count your head.
The next generation of children aren't going to know now about cash.
Nod applies to what happens in the divisional list. You shake your head and you go out. This could take up to 15, 20
It's all
minutes.
digital.
If there's multiple votes as there was during the
Total control of the population's ingoings and outgoings.
Just voting. And this is what happens normally.
And if you're
the House of Commons decides to do its business.
a conspiracy theorist nut job who opposes the state,
Any other parliamentary democracy in the world, most other
they could just switch your fucking money supply off.
yes or no, that's it done. Not in the House of Commons for some reason.
Sorry, there's an error with your account.
For explaining all that for us, thank you. Pete Wishart of the SNP. Bangladesh has reported the first coronavirus death of a Rohingya refugee. 1 million Muslim refugees from Myanmar live in crowded camps in
They spin you this news. There's no evidence, is there? They just tell you that.
Cause on Monday. The man was among at least 29 Rohingya reported to have tested positive for the virus in Bangladesh. Camps have been under lockdown since March the 14th.
What news was that to you then?
Another warning about the
What evidence was in that then? Tell me.
Yemen.
What evidence was in that?
More than $2 billion. The UN says aid operations.
They just told you, oh, some guy tested positive and died.
Only half of its health system.
Well, I could tell you exactly the same now.
A more terrifying COVID-19 outbreak.
I'll tell you what, 20 people on my street have just tested positive over the past couple of days for COVID-19. They all died. Would you believe that?
When it was already on its knees, hollowed out.
No evidence whatsoever in that piece of news. None at all.
Diphtheria, dengue, all take their
Fake news.
Now Yemen confronts the coronavirus, what many fear will be its greatest catastrophe. Harvey Musa shields himself as doctors everywhere do, but he's treating patients in the only dedicated COVID-19 unit in all of southern Yemen.
Every day is almost like suspending disbelief because more things keep happening that defy expectations for anything that I've been trained to deal with.
What is your greatest fear now?
I think what we worry about is that we're going to get a deal.
What the fucking government's next steps are.
We can't provide the care that they need.
That's should be the public's fear.
Here. How could they? There's almost no testing. This lab, assisted by the WHO, is medicine at its gleaming best. But much of Yemen...
So this virus, what's feared me, it's what the government's fucking steps are that feared me from the word go.
Arriving, there's not enough of everything.
Because they knew it was inside job.
Going broke.
Because I've seen footage on YouTube and evidence that they've said that they need a virus to bring about the New World Order 10 years ago. We need something like a virus to bring in the New World Order. Blow and behold, 2020, we have a virus.
A people who survived the worst are scared. Listen to the woman wailing. Videos like this posted on social media. Fears that loved ones taken to hospital are certain to die.
God, look at that! You fucking. This is BBC fucking bullshit scaremongering, isn't it? Listen at her talking.
Has their own crisis at home.
Listen at the woman wailing.
Nowhere will COVID-19 spread faster, wider, and with deadlier consequences than Yemen. Lise Doucette, BBC News.
BBC bullshit.
Right, more on coronavirus here in England and Wales. Figures show the numbers of people dying each week whose deaths are linked to COVID-19 has dropped to its lowest level since...
Are linked? No, not linked.
The National Statistics Review of Death Certificates showed 2,500 cases where the virus was mentioned in the week.
It's a shame Victoria's a lovely woman, isn't she?
Nick Triggle is here, so tell us...
Well, she's part of the BBC propaganda bullshit, being paid to spin lies.
Where coronavirus is mentioned on the death certificate, unlike the daily figures that are produced by the...
Fraudulently added to the death certificate.
Test for coronavirus. Now, there's two things to look out for. The number of deaths linked to coronavirus, and it shows that in the most recent week, to the 22nd of May, there were 2,589 fatalities where coronavirus was mentioned on the death certificate. And
Ignore the fatalities, people.
Since the start of the pandemic.
And the figures, because they're all being doctored. We know this.
Nearly 34,000 at that point in time.
They'd look complete idiots, wouldn't the government, if they had low figures? People would ask questions and they'd have to answer why.
And the second thing is, what has the pandemic done?
You've got to boost up the figures to be able to implement the New World Order.
This time of year we'd see about 10,000 people a week dying. In this most recent week there were over 12,000, but at the peak of the pandemic there are actually over 20,000 people dying. So we can see that the numbers of deaths...
So we can see. What can he see?
...is good news.
All he can see is paper in front of his fucking nose. What he's reading off? What do you mean so we can see?
Statistics Authority.
You're reading off a piece of paper, pal.
Matt Hancock criticising his presentation of testing data. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Says it as though he was personally there and witnessed them all fucking die.
There has been
fucking prick.
asked about these figures that are produced. We get a blizzard of statistics every day at the daily briefing. What the figures that are used, and if we remember, the government talked about achieving a target for 100,000 tests by the end of April. These were actually the tests.
Shove your tests up your arse. They're probably already infected anyway.
Hospitals, in drive-through centres, but also those tests that were posted out to people, or posted out.
They'll probably start swabbing at McDonald's next.
Those tests, for example.
While you're getting your burger, get swabbed and glamorise it.
About this testing regime are the ones that have been posted out actually.
We'll give you a free fucking bag of, give you a free carton of chips.
Those figures back.
If you take a swab, you'd be amazed how many gullible masses will be up for that.
Who are tested. We do get a figure each day, but because it excludes those, there are lots of questions about this, and this is what this letter is about.
I'm just going to quote you a couple of sentences, if I may, because I've just managed to read through some of it. It's just come in. Sir David Norgrove, in his letter to Matt Hancock, I'm afraid that the figures are still far from complete and comprehensible, and the aim seems to be, says Sir David Norgrove in his letter, to show the largest possible number of tests, even at the expense of understanding. Thank you very much, Nick. Nick Triggle, our health correspondent. Right, more restrictions are being lifted in France today as the country continues its exit from lockdown. In most of the country, bars and restaurants can reopen.
They're going to come out at some point, or else
travel limit has been
countries are going to fuck economies so fucking deep they won't know how fucking come out at all.
Well, I mean, we're in Paris, which is a special case, but Paris is interesting.
Now it's left to the public to fucking scrape the fucking countries back into it, pull all the pieces back together.
Because it's been calculated that there is still a lingering risk.
Try and retrieve the businesses.
It has to remain under a higher degree of surveillance. So as you can see behind me here in the 6th arrondissement, Café de la Mairie. It's just opened after 2 months. We've been speaking to the owner. He's absolutely delighted to be coming out of this long period of misery. And people are gathering now for their morning cup of coffee, as they would have done over the last 2 months, but haven't been able to.
Life depends on socialisation. That's what's got people down in this lockdown.
But the city authorities have extended a right to them
for governments to take control of your life and stop you socialising and it's just it's beyond your imagination that you thought it would ever happen, isn't it?
Across the country, it's back to normal, more or less. Cafes, bars, restaurants can open as per usual, as can gyms, as can theatres, as can museums.
Look at the idiots, mask on. Complete idiots. I won't be wearing a mask, I don't give a fuck what law they bring in. You'll have to put a bullet in my head before I wear a mask.
But basically, it's a big step. And in advance of the summer, of course, it's giving a certain option.
I don't comply to the sheep mentality.
The French will have a tourist season, a holiday season, something approaching like normal.
Living's with a mask on, is it? Is that called living, breathing fresh air in? Living is all about wearing a mask, is it?
Hi, so I can hardly hear you, so I'm just going to ask them to...
This young woman here should have refused giving an interview with a mask. She should have said, I will give an interview as long as I can't wear my mask.
Have you got customers right now?
Yes, we do. With masks. With masks. One has a mask.
Oh, yeah, great. Thank you for showing us that. And how do you feel about being able to reopen?
Well, we were very excited.
God, don't it wind you up when you see people wearing masks, because they just, if they're on telly, they're either part of the,
that's a very wonderful news for us.
Going along with the show.
You have rearranged your cafe. What is the
Oh, they're just total brain dead people.
What rules, what social distancing have you put in place?
Well, we have a number of rules, actually. First of all, if people have masks,
It's winding me up, all these rules are. You're queuing up and standing on these stupid fucking markers on floors in your local chip shop and God knows what.
They have to, to line.
You can't resist it, to get away from it.
What we do is that we...
Unless you turn up and you're the only one there, which is a very slim chance. That's the only way I can get round this. Turning up with no one being there. So it feels normal, which it should be.
That's what we have done for the service.
Because all this shit is far from normal. It's fucking abnormal.
That's the first time we do that. Usually we serve in our shops, but we think it's a bit dangerous, for the moment. And
government glamorizes it as being the new normal.
Our space 1 meter, one from the other.
Obviously, I'm talking to you from Britain.
If you believe in it all, you're fucking not normal. That's what.
Coffee machine and the clinking of cups is such a reassuring sound that we all took for granted about 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I was so happy to see the terrace.
Cheer here then, Victoria, Derbyshire. We all took for granted. What free living of life we took for granted.
And we're very glad of that.
When you're born and you're living, you're not taking that for granted. That's life. It's living.
That's absolutely. But also for you, it's your business.
We took it all for granted.
To be back up and running again, don't you? How has it been affected by the pandemic?
Oh, in other words, we should just say thank you to his government for bringing it back to us and a bit of freedom, yeah?
14th of March, when the Prime Minister
Oh, thank you, Boris Johnson. Appreciate you giving us his lives back to some degree.
It was very hard because we, as I told you, we had...
It's not granted to you, it's fucking free.
...of milk that we didn't know what to do with. We,
Goodness me.
We were not prepared to close, and so it was really hard for us to have this news and not to know when we were able to reopen. What we did with that 100 liters of milk was giving it to the hospitals, and then we started, delivering the coffee all around Paris by bag. And that's the only thing we could do.
100 kilometres travel has been uplifted.
Keep in touch with your customers, I think.
Stricter measures will remain in place in Paris.
Christina, I wish you all the best with your business.
Oh yeah, it's beyond the virus, like I say. It's beyond the virus. It's all about
Right, let's talk.
instilling the regime of social distancing.
George Floyd. As we've been reporting, some of the clashes have turned violent between police and protesters, and in some
Gonna have to look into this George Floyd a bit more.
in Kentucky's largest city, Louisville, a black man was shot.
It looks like he was actually been having his neck crushed when I seen the footage, and as though he couldn't move his head. So I don't know about these people saying it was a hoax to bring about, because they know there'll be a rising, and then they can bring in the military as a martial law problem solution reaction.
And actually on the first day he was hit by rubber bullets and gas canisters. Lavelle, thank you very much for talking to us. Tell us.
Don't know, but you always have to keep an open mind with these things, because when governments won't bring things about, they use tactics to do it. You've only got to take what happened in America as an example.
Thursday evening, it was relatively peaceful
20 years ago.
Up until nightfall, and then when things got crowded,
Which then led to the invasion of Iraq. Those of you who've got an open mind, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Showing their solidarity for Breonna Taylor and Judge George Floyd in the
7-7 London.
Louisville. And then things went crazy when the protesters would seen the police,
Not having any of it.
police department and the state troopers, and they was being aggressive, and then they shot canisters off and stuff. Then they was pushing the paddy wagon, about to make it turn over.
It's absolutely true what David Icke says.
7 gunshots that had
What happened in America was the trigger, and I believe that as well. I actually thought that before even Icke mentioned it, because it has gone down bank from then onwards. More things have been.
For justice for Breonna Taylor and George Floyd in America.
Can you tell
More things have been happening worldwide since
what
happened in the States.
What were the circumstances of his death?
That was certainly the trigger, I believe, for the NWO.
Around 12:15 a.m. in Louisville, Kentucky, on 26th and Broadway, outside of the Dino's Food Mart, shots rang out into the crowd. They said there were shots fired at the Louisville Metro, the police department, and the Kentucky National Guard. And then they turned fire and killing David McAtee as he was shielding and protecting his niece into the crowd. So it was very tragic that they was gathering at the 26th of Broadway.
Trump criticised for posing with Bible outside church.
Hang out at the gas station and stuff in the evenings. I don't think that was involved in the protest, but West End had.
I'm not sure about Trump. People are seeing him as the best president and the saviour. Is he doing just the good things to fool the masses? So he gains support.
The issue of police brutality in America.
I just want to read you a couple of messages, if I may.
The military are being launched on the streets. Is that a good president?
From people around
I don't really think so.
And this is focusing on the protesters.
Because it can only get a lot worse once military's on the street.
Protesters have gone too far now. It is not okay to instigate
It's type of a martial law, isn't it?
vandalise or commit attempted murder. It is not okay to make racist comments about white people either. President Trump is within his rights to use
Trump attacks on police by protesters are acts of domestic terror.
I think that people's acting out their frustration. America is.
And he's a so-called best leader, is he?
Oppression on black people in America.
Accusing you for attacking on police for protesting when they're attacking you as domestic terrorism.
To the edge. Every day you hear about.
Or what came about after 9/11.
Brutality. You see racial profiles.
Everybody being branded a terrorist. So even a protester now is a terrorist.
Stood on the neck by a white police officer.
In the UK, you're even classed as a terrorist if you
People are tired.
or stopped and subjected to a search. If you
black people in
outside certain buildings taking photographs. Can you believe it?
They're going to get violent, they're going to get rowdy, they want to...
Conspiracy theories are classed as a type of terrorism.
And then the systems is trying to destroy.
That's how they'll make it eventually. Completely. Everybody. Unless you stand with the narrative, you're a terrorist.
His brother said he didn't want violence in his brother's name, and he urged people simply
Well, I'm no fucking terrorist.
election in November.
I could just see what fucking corrupt governments are doing to destroy humanity's true, respectful way of living.
Being in the streets, demonstrating peacefully, gets you the word and message out. And people need to take on
This planet could be a great, wonderful place
police officers how to deal with blacks in America.
if it wasn't for power, money hungry, greed and power.
National politics affects race in America, community issues affect race in America, community policing, and we can't have mistrust with the law enforcement that's policing our black and brown communities in America.
I've got another email here. It's from Nick.
Well, I'm there.
These are emails from a minority of viewers, and I think actually this is a message to me, to be honest. You do realise that the vast majority of black Americans killed are killed by other black Americans. You do realise black Americans also kill white people. Listening to you this morning, you think that only white people kill black people. The level of liberal bias in your reporting is reprehensible. That's from Nick Mikio. That view is out there.
That happens over here. Foreigners what come here kill white people.
Do kill each other in situations, violence is impacting.
I could tell you something.
Community, but that's all because of a root cause.
Any non-white person in the UK, let's say Muslim for instance, you'll never see one of them in court for racist against a white man. I've never seen it yet, and I've never heard of it. I've seen many white men go jail though for shouting so-called racial abuse against a Pakistani person or a Muslim.
There's a lot of issues that's compounded.
So there's your evidence of one-sided law.
You are seeing civil unrest all across the country. In Louisville, Kentucky, this thing has been going on over 50 years. We've been seeing police brutality acted upon the black and brown community of Woodville.
So who is maybe there isn't somebody.
There shouldn't be any divide by colour of your skin, should there, on this earth?
People together after this.
You would expect President Donald Trump to lead and not gaslight situations, call people thugs, shoot them on spot.
Governments are responsible for the divide.
Bad leadership.
They're responsible for everything.
People have to rise up peacefully.
They know how to do it. They know how to divide people.
Go to the state capitol, the U.S. capitol. Go to your local.
Have everybody fighting against each other.
Rise up and tell them how we're feeling in America.
When really, in reality, it should be
all have the power to change
civilians across the world against the fucking globalist dictators.